trying to be like you, Mike. Trying to be like you, Mike. No, I'm trying to get like you, bro. Trying to be like you.
How we doing?
Mike check.
Welcome to the Valera Alamo Bowl afternoon press conference. We have the Washington offense. As with the earlier press conference, we are doing ASAP transcribing remotely. We really need everyone to raise hands, speak into the microphone, and direct your question to one person at a time. We'll have time to get every question of every player and coach. With that, I'd like to introduce offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb.
How we doing, everybody? I'm here with Jax Kirkland, Mike Penix, and Wayne Talapapa. These guys are a bunch of studs, so direct most of your questions to them.
Questions from the audience, please. Front left.
Yeah, Coach Grubb, what makes each one of these guys a stud? If you got to just say one thing about each one of them that stands out to you, and what should stand out to fans about them?
Collectively, one thing I'd say about all three of them is these guys have majored in perseverance in their career, respectively, and have found a way to impact the team differently, each one of them. I think Jax, brings leadership and accountability up front. Mike, obviously, as a playmaker, his God-given ability is undeniable. But what he did as a leader is when he came into this program and quietly, assumed his role and then took over as quarterback, I think is impressive. And then just Wayne's quiet confidence and just how he works, his ability to step into any situation and get the job done right is pretty rare, honestly, in 1 year.
Question. Front right.
Yeah, I'll go with Jackson. Just in terms of staying on the leadership, these guys came on to the UW. What was it about their nature and their ability to kind of not force their leadership, but eventually become leaders in the program? What traits did you see in both of them?
Yeah, definitely. I really got to tip my hat to these two and a lot of the other. We had a couple other transfer guys that came in and were older guys too, and it can still be a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, you have the experience over a lot of guys in the room, but still it's a brand new program to you and you don't want to overstep your boundaries. But Mike came in, and as a quarterback, I really do think you have to lead, and it doesn't have to be vocal, but you could just get the vibe in spring ball and how he took command of the offense. He stepped up and a great job in that aspect. And then Wayne came in later in the summer, which is even tougher to kind of step in, but we certainly needed him because the running back group was young and needed a leader for sure. And he did a great job just assuming his role, and it just goes back to the type of players they were at their schools before this. They were leaders there, and it just came with them to UW, and it worked out great for our offense.
Kirk, second row.
Yeah, for Michael and Jackson, why the heck are you guys won 10 games and you're underdogs in this game, and does that give you guys a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, for us, it's all about us. In our locker room, we know that, outside noise, we really don't be focused on that. We just focus on what we can control and what we can do in our room to make sure that we're pushing each other to be great on the football field when it comes game day. So, as far as the underdog thing, man, we like it, man. We like being in this position. We just want to go out there and show what we can do as an offense, as a unit, and obviously as a team.
Yeah, and to that point, I think Mike hit it right on the head with that one, but I really wouldn't want it any other way, and I know all the guys in the locker room feel that way. 10 wins is extremely special this season, and I guarantee you not a lot of people had us reaching that mark, and that just goes back to us not listening to the outside noise. And the bottom of our hearts, it's not what you have, it's what you know, and we know we're a special group, and we're just going to keep proving that.
Front left.
For Ryan and for Michael, what stands out about the Texas defense? What you've seen from them on film?
Yeah, obviously their interior, their defensive line is a strength. I think their D-line in general creates a lot of havoc up front. Interior-wise, they've been able to push the pocket quite a bit this year in the pass game. Obviously, that'll be something we have to address right away. Their nickel 23 is a really versatile player that has shown ability to play outside as a corner. He can get into sub packages. It gives them a lot of flexibility with their second level players. And I think they play hard. I think that Coach PK has done a good job getting those guys to run to the football. I think they strip the ball. They're violent at the point of attack, and they're coached really well. They're disciplined. You're not going to get them out of position too often, so we got to do a great job of trying to get them off their mark a little bit. And I think if we can do that and do a good job up front, we'll hold up well.
Yeah, man, he hit a lot of points, but I feel like, just watching them, you could tell they're a very sound team, a physical team, and like Coach said, they're coached very well, But obviously, with our offense, we have a lot of confidence in what we bring, on our side of the ball. So it'll definitely be a great game, and I can't wait to be out there.
Front right.
Jackson, I'll go to you because Coach talked about, and Michael as well, about a tough physical line, on the other side of the ball, obviously. So how excited are you ready to do some, in the trenches fight for 4 quarters against a good defensive line?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, watching this team, you get excited because it's a great opportunity for the offensive line and the offense in general. But as Coach Grubb said, the strength of this defensive unit is the interior D line. You see the push they get, and they have a lot of special players up front. And yeah, like I said, I'm just excited for the opportunity ahead for our group.
Back left.
Coach, how do you prepare for a team where their top 2 running backs aren't going to be playing, and there's a little bit of a mystery of an unknown? And also give me your impressions of Quinn Ewers as a quarterback this season.
Yeah, I'd say as far as the preparation piece for us, the 2 running backs is not a huge part. We just got to attack what they put out there and let our defense do the job. But then at the same time, I haven't watched Ewers very much, honestly.
Front middle, please. Green.
Coach, one of your receivers, the third guy, Jalen Polk from Texas, one of his high school teammates is going to be trying to tackle him. How excited has he been for this game, and what has he done this year for y'all's offense?
Yeah, JP has been excitable all year, and a guy that's, really fought his butt off to get the job that he's got. And we got a lot of talent in that room, and just anybody that gets the reps, goes out there with that hungry mindset to stay out there. And JP is really kind of the emotional leader in that room. And so I think to be able to come back here and have a game like this in his own backyard is really special to him. And but I think his preparation and the way he's approached this game and just in general this year has really stayed the same. He's got a ton of energy. He's got a big heart. He kind of plays with that on his sleeve a little bit. So it'll be exciting to see him out there.
Front right.
And Wayne, this one's for you. Just when there is that battle up front as a running back, how does patience play into it in terms of, your line, Jackson and them are trying to create a hole, and then they're pushing this way for you to read and then execute when that hole's open?
Yeah, I think it just comes with trust. I mean, I've seen them work in and day out each and every day, and so whenever we're running the ball, we have a lot of trust in our guys up front. And I mean, if you see the way that they work during practice, during lift sessions, during film study, you have no choice but to trust them because of how hard they work and how strong they are. And so it's one of the strongest points of our offense, and really grateful to have Jackson and them leading the way.
Front left.
And Michael, for you, what's it meant to have Jackson in this offensive line in front of you, protecting you and keeping you upright this whole season? Because I know that hasn't always been the case throughout your career.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's a blessing. I appreciate those guys so much. They work their tails off. And, when I first came here, on my visit, I was asking Coach to see the players, and I was able to see those guys. And, I knew that it was a special group. And then when I was able to step on campus, just going through the winter workouts, off-season workouts, those weren't easy workouts. And just to see that group always, each and every day after those workouts, continue to come back and do extra reps, make sure that they're working on their technique. It just showed how special that they were going to be. And, I knew I had no doubt in my mind, that we were going to have the season that we had, just especially with those guys up front blocking for me and the playmakers that we have on the outside. They give me a lot of time to get the ball out, and, with those guys on the outside making plays, special things are always going to happen.
Kirk, second row.
For Wayne and Michael, what happened in the 2 losses to UCLA and Arizona State, and what changed in the team after that to go on a 6-game winning streak?
Yeah, those losses, those are tough. I just feel like it was just small details, maybe that we missed. For us on the opposite side of the ball, we always talk about, just making sure that we could control and just go out there. And our goal is we want to put up 41 points a game, so just going out there and just make sure that we push each other to get that goal. I feel like, would have definitely helped with those games. I feel like we left a lot of things out on the table in those games, but I feel like those games showed us, how mature this team is and how much fight that we have. Because even in those games, we were. The UCLA game, we were down a couple of scores, and just seeing the team, just always continue to have confidence, continue to push all the way to the end. And it just showed fight all the way through. It just showed that this team has so much character, so much grit, and we'll never give up on anything. Just being able to bounce back from those 2 wins and win out, it was amazing. It was amazing month of November. Being able to beat a lot of good teams that we had to face. It just showed that this team is always going to fight no matter what.
Yeah, just to piggyback off Mike, I think, one thing we wanted to work on the whole year was focusing on ourselves and, our details and what we can do just to succeed as an offense. So obviously those 2 games came back as a setback, but we all made goals to each other, to keen in on details and, continue to focus on what we do. And I think, it showed out, especially in those later games. And just happy to be a part of a program where you got a bunch of guys who are willing to, sacrifice so much to continue to work so we can succeed as an offense.
Front, middle.
Coach, y'all have the top third down conversion percentage in the country. What do you think is the biggest reason behind y'all's finding success and be able to move the chains on third down?
Yeah, we get that question quite a bit. It starts with the players, honestly. You need guys that can execute the stuff you draw up, and these guys attack that every week, man. They've been awesome. I think a couple of key components is obviously there's a larger percentage of plays are passing downs. We've been able to do a really good job protecting Mike, taking care of him, and when he's back there and has time, I think he can make great decisions. And as Mike already mentioned, I think when we give an opportunity to the guys on the outside, they'll make that play. I also think just our staff collectively, Shep, Nick, Coach Marks, and Huff, I think that we work together. Really, really well together. That's what it comes down to. Is I think people get in rooms and guys have ideas and, man, I want to do this my way. I want to do this my way. And if you can get to the best idea and put the best thing out there for the kids so they can succeed, things get pretty easy pretty quick. And I think we've done a good job of that. And there's a lot of A or B plays that Mike has had to make some decisions on as well and get us into a good play. And he's done an awesome job of that all year.
Anything else? Kirk from the back, second.
Michael, can you explain your decision to come back next year? And do you feel like this team has national championship possibilities next year?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely one of the reasons. I just feel like, it's just a lot of stuff that, happened this season that was great, but at the same time, I feel like it was a lot of left out on the table, especially like you just mentioned earlier, the 2 losses, I feel like, those are games that we wish we had back, but at the same time, I feel like just me coming back and just being a part of this program, being a part of this offense another year, underneath my belt, I feel like it'll definitely help elevate my game, and I'll be able to help elevate everybody on the offensive side of the ball as well. I feel like it was definitely the best decision at that time. So, that's all it was, and I definitely feel like this team is definitely going to be in the national championship. Pac-12, all that, so that's the reason I came back.
Front, left.
Yeah, Mike, some of the Texas DBs mentioned that you basically trust your receivers because that's what they see on film when it comes to those 50-50 balls. How did you develop that trust, and kind of when did you get a sense that you could rip it with any of those 3 guys and they'll come down with it?
Yeah, all off season, I talk about it a lot. Those guys, they work extremely hard. I don't have to worry about those guys, taking off reps in practice. I feel like it's just a very mature group. We came a long way. It wasn't always perfect, but at the same time, those guys understand what it takes to be a great team, what it takes to be a great offense. So whenever they come out to practice, they always bring a lot of energy. And we got a lot of guys. Those are young guys as well. But those are guys that people look up to on this team. As leaders. Still because of the way they work and the way that they perform, and the way they help the younger guys out on the team. They show that each and every day in practice. So when I first stepped foot on campus, I had those guys already texting me, asking me when can I have throwing sessions with them. Just seeing that those are guys that are going to come to work, from day one. It just showed that I would be able to have confidence in them. By the time the season came around, and once that time did come, I'm 100% confident. Wherever I throw it, somebody gonna come down with it in a purple jersey.
Any final questions from the audience? We're going to do stop now and do some breakouts. If we could go every other, maybe Coach Day, maybe Jason pop out, Mike's Day, Wayne pop out, and we'll break out.